Okay, so like I said earlier, I am part of the 60 Scoop Survivor. And this is pretty much the Ontario Superior Court and the federal court authorized this notice. Survivors of the 60 Scoop sued the federal government of Canada. The courts have now approved the settlement between the survivors of Canada and provides compensation for loss of cultural identity for certain survivors of the 60s Scoop. The money would help in many ways, but the same thing, to me is just like I'm doing this in honor of my mom because I was taken and and this is just not right. So pretty much is that I just have to make my claim, and it could take to next year or so to even get part of the settlement, but it's between 1951 and 1991. Indian and Inuit children were taken into care and placed with non-Indigenous parents where they were not raised in accordance with their cultural traditions nor taught their reading from the paper from what I got. And it's the 60 Scoop. The class action is the one or more people called plaintiffs sue on behalf of people who have similar claims. All these people are called a class or class members. And the courts resolve the issues for everyone affected except for those who exclude themselves from the lawsuit. And I'm not opting out. And of course, I'm a survivor, so basically it says my cat's in heat. The lawsuits argue that Indian and Inuit children who were victims of the 60 Scoop lost their cultural identity and as well suffered psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. They are also deprived of their status, their Aboriginal treaty rights, and monetary benefits to which they were entitled pursuant to the Indian Act RSC 1985 C1-5 and related legislation and policies. The representative plaintiffs in Canada have agreed to a settlement. By agreeing to the settlement, the parties avoid the cost and uncertainty of a trial as well as delays in obtaining judgment and compensation. Class members receive the benefits described in this notice. In this case, it also means that the class members will not need to testify in courts. Okay, so who are included in this settlement? I'm just telling you what's in this paper. I'm not going through everything, but I'm giving you the important facts here. The settlement includes people who are registered Indians defined in the Indian Act and Inuit as well as people eligible to be registered Indians. And I'm a registered Indian, makes me a class member, so. And also, who were removed from their homes in Canada between January 1st, 1951 and December 31st, 1991 and placed into care of non-Indigenous foster or adopted parents. Those who meet the criteria above will be included in this settlement as class members. In addition, all class members, except those who validly opt out, they want to go on their own and get their own lawyer and sue. I don't have money and time for that, so nope. Will be held to the terms of the settlement and covered by releases in the settlement. And it's just a lot of money. Money can't bring back what happened to a lot of us, to be honest. The amount helped, but it doesn't help to when you were taken, put into care, into custody. It just does not help, And it says, this is just in case you opt out. I could receive these by 2020 or longer, the payment, but we'll see. Who else? Okay, so Indian children who are taken from their homes on reserves in Canada between December 1st, 1965 and December 31st, 1984 and were placed in the care of non-Aboriginal foster adoptive parents who did not raise the children in accordance with the Aboriginal person's customs, traditions, and practices have already had an opportunity to remove themselves from the class action. So anybody who wants to opt out can still opt out, is pretty much. So, once everything's all like taken care of, when everybody files their claim, and then they'll assess the paper and everything. They do your background check. They run your tribe number and everything. So, but it says I have lawyers that are representing us from Toronto, Ontario, and the Merchant Law Group of Regina, Saskatchewan, of Vancouver, and the Wilson Christian LLP and Morris Cooper of Toronto, Canada. And they can help free of charge too, they said, just in case you have any questions. And this is my form with all kinds of questions to ask. It asks me my full name, my current address, any other names I've used, date of birth, provide your registration treaty number. What else it says? It says were you adopted, when were you adopted, where were you adopted, were you made a permanent ward, in other words, were you placed under permanent guardianship of Guardian Family Services? I was permanent ward, I was Crown ward. Were you placed with non-indigenous parents or foster parents? Yes. Were you in foster care? Yes. I'm just saying, like honestly, do you have documents relating to your adoption or wardship? Of course. All my documents that I need. And I can also like send a story if I want to about it. So, and then I send a thing for release of documents, but definitely I'm going to be doing this because I was taken and everything. The money doesn't bring back the heartache, doesn't help your heartache or anything. It doesn't bring back my mom or anything. It's just the fact of knowing that I was taken. I was told that I was given up for adoption. I was given up to find out. I have horrible hair right now. To find out that I was not given up. I was taken, and my mom, dad, my grandfather, my uncle, they all fought for me, and they didn't win. They were told to give up their rights. So, and then I was placed in a non-indigenous home. So yeah, a lot did happen. I knew something was different and everything. I knew something was off, and just knowing that I wasn't taught my ways or anything. I wasn't even told of who I was. I didn't know my identity. I came upon it when I was in grade 3, to be honest. And I was like, what is this? And I approached my adopted mom and everything, and she said, yeah, you are adopted, but didn't even say much. And then I pursued it once I turned 16. Then I pursued it, and then when I was 18, I went looking. So yeah, I do have a story and everything, so I'm going to get everything that I need, and I'm going to submit everything, because it's not right for us who are taken and stripped of our identity, don't know who we were or anything, and lied to. Knowing that my mom had fought for me and my dad and everybody else, and that they just didn't win. And a lot of people out there who have gone through a similar situation too, that were stolen from their family. And I hope that, that comes resolution to this, and that we can all bond together and stand together and take back our heritage and become strong and united, and learn more about your native language and traditions. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to learn more traditions and my language, and just something that I've been stripped of. So I'll keep you guys updated when I can with that, because once I send it, I won't know anything more. So just another thing I learned about my life, that I was taken, I was stolen from my mom as soon as she gave birth to me. She had me for a while, and then they took me again and everything. It was just one of this back and forth thing, tormenting my mom, and then they just truly just yanked me out. No ifs, ands, or buts. They made her, and they just stole me.